He plays a mean guitar. After midnight he performs on a tree branch stage. He is brave. He is outrageous. He is Ozzy the Wonder Squirrel. He will steal your heart and eat all your pecans. He loves cuddling in his fleece when bedtime comes calling. Ozzy the Wonder Squirrel, the cutest rocking squirrel in the universe. Take out the trash. Why? There might be something delicious in all that slop. Put out the air fresheners. Place a clothespin on your nose. Let's dig into the cream of the crop. Celluloid trash. It stinks, but we must watch. Celluloid trash. It stinks, but we must watch.
Howdy, gang, and hey, Gory Tiger, if you're still in here, I can't never tell because sometimes this thing, StreamYard or whatever, YouTube, I don't know who's involved there. It'll show 0 and there'll be people in here. But if you're still in here, Gory Tiger, hey, I got my friend Jack with me tonight because we're into October, and that's when I bring my friend Jack out to hang out with me as I do these streams and videos and all that jazz. So I put Celluloid Trash and the other streams back at 8 o'clock Eastern time, 8 p.m. Eastern time, because no offense, but the people that tell me that 9 o'clock will work better for them are not coming in. So I was like, I'm going to start these back earlier because I think there are people like the poet that it's better at 8 o'clock for him to come in because, around 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, sometimes people start getting sleepy. They're normal. They're not like me who stays up at all hours of the day and night. But tonight on Celluloid Trash, we're going to be talking about The Nest, which I actually have a copy of, and The Night Stalker from 1986. And no, it's not about Richard Ramirez. I thought maybe it was going to be a low budget thing about Richard Ramirez. No, it's definitely not. And we're going to get into that one second. And you guys and gals might be surprised what I have to say about it. So we're going to get to those really soon. And I'll be giving a rating of each as well as, talking a little bit about both of the films. But I want to get some housekeeping stuff out of the way as I usually do on here before we get to the movies. For those of you that haven't heard me talk about my new friend, my new pet friend, I have acquired or obtained, or however you want to call it, a African pygmy dormouse. And if you don't know what those are, you can feel free to look those up on the internet. I had never heard of them before either. They're also referred to as micro squirrels. And they do have features very much like a squirrel, and their tail is almost exactly like a squirrel tail. Um, and for those of you, again, that have not heard me talk about my new pet, or have not heard me say anything basically about him, um, I was going to show you guys and gals, because there may be some of you guys and gals that watch um, my stuff on my channel that are not necessarily my friend on Facebook, and that's fine. Everybody in the free world doesn't have to be, a friend of mine on Facebook. So, but I am going to share my screen with you folks, if there's anybody still left in here. Okay. So hopefully you guys and gals can see little Ozzy. Yes, he is named after Ozzy Osbourne. He's not the original inspiration for the Ozzy the Wonder Squirrel cartoon, but he is my Ozzy the Wonder Squirrel 2.0. And I love him. He is a nocturnal pet, so I don't see him generally through the day. He is buried in his bedding usually. He's probably out about right now, and I'll probably check on him again whenever I get off of the stream. But you can't really see his tail right here in this picture. You can see most of his body, and he looks very much like a baby or a young squirrel at this point. You can see a little bit of his tail here, and I actually
Ozzy, you okay, buddy?
have video of it where y'all might be able to see his tail a little bit better.
You okay, buddy?
His tail curling there a little bit. Kind of like
Ozzy. Right.
Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing that for now. And hopefully y'all got a little glimpse of little Ozzy, or Ozzy the Wonder Squirrel, as I'm calling him. And, as I said the last time I talked about him, before anybody gets any ideas, and I'm not saying everybody is like this, folks, but there are some people that, aren't too fond of me. I'm not going to go into details, but they aren't too fond of me. And, they may try to find any, excuse to bring me down. But I had the paperwork on Ozzy. He is legal. He's entirely legal for me to have. So if anybody is not too fond of me and wants to try to turn me in for having an exotic animal that I don't have a right to own, think again. I do have all the paperwork on him, and I would be glad to show it to anybody that shows up at my door. So I did pay for a health certificate for him. I paid for the permit from the Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife, where I live. I live in Kentucky. So he is fully legal for me to own. So I wish I didn't have to say things like that. I wish I didn't have to explain. But, in more recent years, people have, not been too happy with me, not been too friendly with me. And, again, I won't go into details, but, there have been certain things that have happened And I'm not saying it's necessarily those people, but it could be people that they've told about something. And, it could be any number of things. So just wanted to put that out there that it is entirely legal for me to have little Ozzy. So, anyways, now I'll get off of that and we'll move on to something else. I still do have the giveaway going on for new subscribers. I've gotten several new subscribers, but they have not entered the contest. But just to let you guys and gals know, in case you haven't heard, from now until October 31st, yes, Halloween 2025, at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time, you can enter the contest to win one of 3 5-movie prize packs. Okay. I will be doing a drawing if I have anybody enter. On November 1st, I will actually do a live stream so you guys know that I'm all on the up and up and all that good stuff when I do it. Okay. I'm not doing anything underhanded or under the table or anything like that. It's not fixed, folks. I promise you. So how do you enter? Well, first of all, you got to subscribe. This is a contest or a giveaway for new subscribers only. And to get a chance, you first subscribe and then you go under the video that I did for the actual contest. And I'll do y'all a solid and I will actually put, well, sorry if y'all heard that. I don't know if you can unless I'm sharing my screen at the time, but I'm going to put the link to that video. So once you subscribe, and you got to let me see, you can't have your screen name or your channel handle hidden. I have to see it if you want to enter this contest. Okay. And then you go over to the video and you comment and you put your channel handle or screen name, the same one that you subscribed under, because I know some people have more than one channel and more than one screen name, and that's fine. But I just need to have something to be able to match it up, right? Okay. So there's that. We got a bunch of programming going on this week. And tomorrow night, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, will be a VHS overload. And I will be talking about fave horror VHS covers from 1989. Because it is the month of October. Wednesday, and I'm sorry if y'all hear those noises. Somebody is apparently messaging me. Wednesday night, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, will be another horror movie rewind. And because, like I said, it is the month of October, we're going to be talking about all the goofs and trivia I can dig up on Halloween from 1978. Thursday night will be another They're All Messed Up, and I'm going to be talking about Sergio Martino's Torso and Wicked by Richard Bayer. I'm not sure if that's a fake name or not. Might be. And we're going to be talking about the kills in each one of those films. And I'm not fond of Torso. I've said that over and over and over again. But alas, I am going to watch it again for this Thursday's episode of They're All Messed Up. Good Lord. Somebody's messaging me a lot. Oh, I may have to go away for a little bit and because I'm getting a bunch of short messages from someone, and I just want to check up on them and make sure they're all right. So October 10th, Saturday, October the 10th, or am I wrong on that? Maybe it's Friday. I don't know. It's either Friday or Saturday, folks. Oh, Lordy. I'm going to have to check here. Let's see. No, it's Friday. Sorry, folks. Saturday's the day we take Reggie to the vet, or one of our dogs. But Friday, starting at 6 p.m. Eastern time, normally it's 7 p.m. Eastern time. But because we're going to be watching 3 movies instead of 2, it's going to be Evil Dead Chick's Hideous Halloween Slumber Party. So dress in your favorite sleepwear. And we're going to be watching Halloween 1978, Halloween 2, and yeah, you guessed it, Halloween 3 with the irresistible Tom Atkins getting all the ladies and fighting a madman who wants to create these masks that make kids' heads implode, and all these creepy crawler snakes and spiders and roaches and all that come out and attack their parents on Halloween. I also have another poll up for the next watch along movie choices for Saturday, October the 25th. Halloween 4, Halloween 5, and Halloween H2O are on the roster. Halloween 4 is still in the lead with 50%, but Halloween H2O is not far behind at 40%, and Halloween 5 is trailing at 10%. So get in there and vote while you still can. If you want to have a say so on what movie is chosen for that watch along, that week's watch along. Okay, so to finish the housekeeping stuff up, and then I promise we'll get to the movies. So as much as I appreciate the super chats and the super stickers and people joining my Patreon and all that good stuff and joining the channel, I realize that especially in this day and age, that everybody's not made out of money, right? So I want to let you know of some ways that you can support me and the channel and hopefully help me get to my next milestone of 1,000 subscribers. I'm 8 away right now if I don't lose any. And getting very, very close. And this is a personal milestone for me. Some people might not think it's a big deal. Oh, wow, 1,000 subscribers, big deal. You know, I tripled that in a year, which that's great. But I feel like that I have worked very hard on my channel to get where I am. And I have a sense of pride when it comes to my channel. So, here are some ways that you can support me in the channel and it won't cost you a dime. One is by subscribing. If you've been dancing around whether or not you should subscribe, like I said, we got that giveaway going on for new subscribers. So now is a great time to subscribe if you haven't already. You don't have to enter the giveaway, but, you know, a little extra incentive there. Also, you can hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of the new content I've got coming out. And I've got some stuff coming up. I've got a Spirit Halloween, not really a highway to hell, but me and Steve went to the Spirit Halloween store, one of the Spirit Halloween stores here in Louisville on Saturday. And we took a tour around and Steve tried on masks and things like that. So, I will have that up soon. I've got another We Watch Movies episode 4 that I got Steve to do. So I'll be putting that up. And I think Steve's got some things in the works for his own channel. I'm not going to tell you exactly what, but y'all keep your eyes peeled, okay? Also, hit the like button on anything that you've especially enjoyed. And hey, if you enjoyed everything, hit that like button on everything. All of those things will help me get up into the algorithms of YouTube, whatever the heck that is, but it's a thing, apparently. So, and here's one other thing you can do. You can share with friends and family members that you think might enjoy the content that I'm putting out. And then maybe they'll want to subscribe. Hey, you never know. All of those things you can do, they immensely help me and the channel, and they don't cost you a dime, folks. All right, blabbing over. Now that I blabbed for 20 minutes, let's get to these movies, shall we? All right, so the first one is The Nest. This was one of those VHS covers that I always loved. I mean, the gigantic cockroach on the woman who's scantily clad. I mean, who wouldn't want to see something like that, right? I have always loved this. It's a creepy crawly creature feature, is what it is. And anything, I mean, heck, I even watch Kingdom of the Spiders, and I'm scared to death of spiders. People have seen me on camera. I know in the last, I don't know, 2 or so years, I was doing a stream and a spider crawled across my desk and I just flew backwards. But I've watched Kingdom of the Spiders. I've watched Arachnophobia. I've watched all that stuff, right? So, even though roaches, I don't like them in my house because they're nasty and they spread germs and disease and stuff like that. But I don't really mind them, right? I don't mind them like I mind spiders, right? So, I've seen the snake movies, I've seen the spider movies, I've seen the worm movies like Squirm and stuff like that. And of course, there are roach movies, and The Nest is no exception, right? And so we basically have a small, I believe it's a coastal town that is taken over by roaches. And also, here's something else. This is just not your standard run of the mill, like roaches taking over a town thing. Whatever these roaches attack and eat, they kind of morph into it. And then it can, change from whatever it ate back into a roach, only the roach is larger. It's as large as whatever it is eaten. So the quiet town of Northport is basically, like I said, being overrun with cockroaches. And if let's say you don't you're scared of cockroaches like I'm scared of spiders, right? Then I would think a little bit before I watch this because, it might get to you. I know sometimes when I watch Kingdom of the Spiders, that I start, seeing things in the corner of my eye and stuff like that. Is that the spiders, and sometimes it really are spiders. So, I'm not going to say that somebody might not get a roach in their house. You don't have to have a nasty house to have roaches get in there. Every time it gets wet outside and it's warm, we have these little roachy bugs come in. But one thing you don't want to see is them like crawling across your countertops in your kitchen and stuff like that, or being in your cabinets, getting in your food. It'd be like a creep show type of thing. In the episode, they're creeping up on you. But this has plenty of creepy crawlies to be had in it. It's directed by Terrence H. Winkless, and it has Lisa Langlois in this, who was in some Canadian films. She was, I believe she was in Happy Birthday to Me, and some others. I'm not sure if this is a Canadian film per se. It is produced by Julie Corman. Yes, that Julie Corman. And I just have a lot of fun with it. Like I said, it's a creepy crawly creeper. Can't even talk. Creepy crawly creature feature. Try to say that 5 times fast. There's a tongue twister for you. And I love it. I still love this movie as much now as I did when I was a kid. and saw it. You know, when you're a kid, of course, you think a lot of things are cool. And sometimes as you get older, they ain't as cool as they was. But for me, the nest is still just as cool as it was when I was a kid. And so you know that I'm just going to have to give this thing 5 deadites out of 5. Because, it may be considered celluloid trash, but to me, it's golden celluloid trash because it's just so much fun. All right. So the next one, I don't have a physical copy of it. I didn't really even know anything about it. But this is the Night Stalker from 1986. And yes, that is Robert Zadar on the front or on the poster there. And then you got a row of scenes below him. It says, some ladies of the evening will not live to see the light of another day. And honestly, folks, whenever I first started watching this, it is available on YouTube, a pretty decent copy for an older movie. It's not all fuzzy or anything like that. So you can watch it for free on YouTube if you would like. So it concerns a killer who has figured out, it's a little bit supernatural. He has figured out that if he starts out killing animals, breaking their necks and stuff, that he can achieve some sort of immortality. And the more animals, and then he moves into people, because I guess people give him more strength. The more people he kills, the closer he becomes to just being completely immortal, completely invincible. I mean, throughout the movie, he gets shot in the chest and stuff, and he gets right back up. It's like Jason or something. They shoot him, he falls down, and gets back up again. Like Jason or Michael Myers or any number of those guys from the slasher films, right? So what he starts out killing in the movie, or who he starts out killing in the movie, are prostitutes. So he pays them, goes to a hotel room with them, and then kills them. And then he paints their face like it looks like some kind of geisha girl or something like that when he paints them up after they're dead. And he says something, and I don't know if it's Chinese or Japanese. I'm not I'm not Asian, so I can't tell the difference. Steve's always trying to tell me, but no disrespect to Asian people. I love those people. They're and they got fantastic food. The Chinese and the Japanese both have fantastic food that I absolutely love, right? And most, Chinese or Japanese restaurants that you go to, or at least most of the ones I've been to, they're very gracious, very friendly, nice, polite, all of that. So anyway, so Robert Zadar's character has been studying with a man who kind of teaches him this stuff. It sort of reminds me of when Charles Lee Ray, aka Chucky, goes to see this voodoo guy, and he learns how he can, basically cheat death. So that's what Robert Zadar's character does in The Night Stalker. And so Don Edmonds had something to do with this, folks. Don Edmonds co-wrote this, and he produced it. John Goff and Buck Flower, they worked on it. Buck Flower's actually in it, and I believe John Goff is in it too. John Goff and Buck Flower both worked together on quite a few films, including Drive-In Massacre, which I've talked about many times before, and is a really cheesy, low budget movie, but I love it nonetheless. And Surprise, surprise. Joan Chen from that Joan Chen from Twin Peaks, that played Josie Packard. She is in this playing a prostitute. She's not in it very long, or I didn't remember seeing her for very long. Charles Napier is in this playing a cop. I'm trying not to forget anybody that's in this. Marcia Carr is in this too, which I'm going to look her up because I could have sworn that I had seen that name somewhere else on another movie that I had seen. Well, she was on Real Genius. For those of y'all that Oh, Marcia Carr, that's why I know her. She plays Rhonda on Killer Workout. She was also in Savage Streets as well, but that's why I remember. She was in Maniac Cop. She was in Killer Workout, Real Genius, Savage Streets. She played Stevie in Savage Streets, so that makes sense. I watched Killer Workout again not very long ago. She plays H.J. Salters in The Night Stalker. She was also in Hard Bodies. She played Twinks in Chained Heat. She was in The Concrete Jungle playing Marcy. So, yeah. I knew that name sounded very familiar to me. So, what I was going to tell you guys and gals, I was expecting this to be complete trash is what, and I really got into it, folks. I enjoyed this one. I mean, yeah, some of it was a little hokey, but for the most part, it was a really well put together thriller, I thought. And I would highly, highly recommend it. Like I said, you can watch it on YouTube. I almost said Tubi. You may be able to watch it on Tubi, but I did find it on YouTube. And like I said, very decent copy of it. In fact, 1 second, folks. Let me see if I can find that copy I watched. I'll do y'all another solid, and I will. I don't know why I'm not able to, like, I don't know what's going on with my mouse today. There we go. So for those of y'all that are interested in it, I'll put the link to the Night Stalker from 1986 in case y'all want to check that one out. And, you know, like I said, I thought that this was going to be complete trash and stuff, but it really, really wasn't. And so I'm going to go ahead and give this one 5 deadites out of 5 as well. I can recommend The Night Stalker. I mean, now, if some of y'all watch it and you go watch it on YouTube and you decide, well, Dana don't know what in the heck she's talking about. This movie was awful. You can let me know. I would love to hear other people's opinions on The Night Stalker as well as The Nest. But I guess that is it for me for tonight. I've been on here a little over 30 minutes, all told. But I want to thank Gory Tiger for being in here, kind of hanging out with me in the chat. I want to thank those of you that maybe didn't feel comfortable getting in the chat, but you were in and out of here watching what good old Dana was talking about. And I thank all of you as well. And for those of you that maybe didn't have time to come in when this was live, but you'll watch it on the replay, I so much appreciate that as well. And as always, I'm off like a dirty shirt. This shirt ain't dirty, but I'm off like one. And I want to remind everybody, as I always do, to be kind to one another and blaze that trail. So get out there, blast some Aussie, and try your best to live the Aussie way. And what do I mean by that? Please, folks, don't stay stuck in the past. Live in the present, move forward into the future, and never, ever give up on your dreams. Have a fantastic rest of your Monday night, folks, and I'll see everybody next time.